class as well. So 6.2, number 2. So problem number 1, you have 10,000 and you wish to have 10,000 in 4 years. Did I do this one?
Yes.
I did do the, okay. All right, so let's not worry about that one. Number 2, I didn't do number 2, right? Okay. In order to accumulate enough money for a down payment on a house, a couple deposits, they would do 300 per month into an account paying 6%. Ooh, that's a good account. And it's compounded monthly, so monthly. And then if the payments are made at the end of each month, so don't worry. So when it says at the end of each month, that just means your first payment. Like if you at January, you'd put it in at the end of January. How much will be in the account after 5 years? So you don't not worry about the end and then 5 years. Okay, that means we can use our calculator. Let's go with apps, finance, TVM solver. All right, so 5 years times 12, that should be 60. And then we got 6%. Previous value, there's nothing in there, but we're doing a payment. We can make this the negative 300. That should work. Every month, let's see, future value is what we want to find, second alpha. So if they deposit $300 a month for 60 months, they'll have $20,931. So if you wanted to, you could say that's 18,000 that they would have invested because 300 times 60 is 18,000. So they made $2,931.01 in interest. Good to gear, good to go. In 5 years, a couple would like to have 25,000. Like to have 25,000 on a house. What fixed amount should be deposited each month, paying 9%? Okay. So 5 years, we're okay with the 60 because 5 times 12 is 60. They found a really super duper account paying 9%. Previous value we don't have. They want to figure out the payment, but they would like to have 25,000 in this account by the end. And we want to figure out how much they have to put in each month in order to get there. So we're going to go alpha enter. So it looks like they need to put $331.46 in each month. And after 5 years, they should have a $25,000 down payment. Okay. So kind of real. Kind of real for stuff. Huh. So we talked yesterday. Is there any questions on those? Do you feel comfortable with it? Okay. We were talking yesterday. I did a little bit more research. So we're talking about, let's talk from 1952 to 2022. Now, this type of math that we're going to kind of look at is a lot of times how actuarial scientists, which are just people who deal with numbers all the time, I found that in 1952, the average household was making $2,300 per year. And I found that in 2022, they're claiming the average is $53,490. So we're making way more today than we were yesterday. But I'm going back to the cars things. Now, please understand, there's a lot of things to consider to say, are we really better off now than we were then? This is just one thing to speculate. So when I looked this up, 15 miles per gallon was the average on cars, whereas now it's 27 miles per gallon. So we're doing better as far as that. They're saying that back then it was 27 cents per gallon. And this was $430 or $4.432. Oh, geez, no one would be driving. It's 432. So $4.32. They said that was the national average yesterday. Whether it went up or down, I'm not worried about. Um, People back then also drove this many miles per year with their cars, and then they're claiming we're driving this many miles per year. Okay, are you following what I'm doing so far? So this is just I've looked up. I can't guarantee it's the 100% correct information. I'm just going with that. So that means that if I decided to do this, I know that 960 divided by 15 times 0.27 was of the gallon, and this one was 1289 number of miles driven divided by miles per gallon times the cost per gallon. So that means that these guys would have paid $163.08 every year for their gasoline. Though we're driving further, we're getting better mileage. These guys are today, this is what people are averaging. And so what I looked at then was 163.08 divided by the yearly income and finding it as a percent. This comes out to about 7% of that household income back in 1952 was going towards gasoline for their car. This, again, doesn't have to deal with any maintenance. And then these guys, 2063. Throwing decimals in where they don't go. 2063.84 divided by 12899. And this comes to about 4%. So, in order to decipher what the cost per gallon should have been, what I do is just set up like this kind of situation, 12,899 divided by 27 miles per gallon times X, which is the cost of gas, is equal to 3744.30. And we're on a rim. If I solve that equation, in order for us to pay the equivalent percent per gallon, we would have to get up to $7.84 per gallon to be equivalent with what they had paid back in 1952. Now, we all agree things are more expensive today than they were yesterday. Okay? Back in the 50s, you had certain things that weren't as good. Who knows? You had certain things that aren't as good. I can tell you back in the 50s, mortgage percentage rates were like 12, 13%, whereas now, I think it's now up to 5%, though we're coming off a big old low. I think it got down in the twos for a while for mortgages today, though houses are more expensive today than they were back then. I don't know. It's just, this is one little piece to consider. You know, are we better off than we were 70 years ago? As far as the gas goes, it points to, yes, it appears that we are better off, being that we're only dropping 4% of our income towards gasoline, as according to the national average. But again, you have to look at a lot of things. There was other things on this particular website I went to. It's kind of a fun little website to mess around with. It talked about like the price for a loaf of bread, price for a gallon of milk, dozen eggs, things like that. And there's certainly an influx of, or an increase in price. But it'd be interesting to know, are we truly better now than we were? I don't know. A lot of you have a close to $1,000 phone you're walking around with. Back then they had like 2 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, and 2 pairs of shorts. Imagine these days, if your closet looks anything like my daughter's closets, you got a lot of clothing, got a lot of shoes. When I was growing up as a kid, you went and bought 1 pair of shoes, and then when you outgrew them or they wore out, then you'd go buy another pair of shoes. I have, that's what you do. You wear them to the end and then go get a new pair. Cool. And I actually have a big problem with shoes. I have a lot of shoes. I like wearing shoes. So I have shoes that are relatively older in age that still look like pretty much brand new because I wear them once every 30 days. But, huh. Oh, just kind of interesting perspective to think about. Are you... Now, here's something that's different. Let's go on the social aspect. Mental health wise, do we have better mental health now than we did back then? Or is mental health back then just as bad as it is now, but maybe just not as recognized? And that's a big question to ask. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, I know as a teacher we often try and figure out, and there's a lot of times I'll get a message about, hey, we're concerned about this particular kid, keep an eye out. In all my years of teaching, that seems to be going up. But is it going up because there truly is more mental health problems now than there were earlier in my career, or are we just recognizing it more? And I think it might be a little bit of both. I don't know. I just don't know. I know there's all kinds of pressures that you all have. I know I had pressures growing up as well. But that was kind of funny. I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun to take just a small little sneak peek. Tomorrow is a real life day. So we're going to talk about medical insurance and what you want to do when you get to a point to choose medical insurance. And I was going to pull up the Colorado Health Insurance Exchange, and we can do a little comparison of stuff to where you think what you think you might want for insurance. I know a lot of people get really concerned about health insurance. I want to pay $25 each time I go to the doctor, and that's it. Yeah, but you're paying $3,000 a month for your health insurance. It's okay. Okay. How much do you pay a month for your health insurance? Well, I pay $60 a month for my health insurance. Yeah, but you have a deductible of $6,000. Yeah. So I saved it. There's big disparities. Big things to think about with insurance. And what is the right or wrong with insurance? I don't know. You figure out what's best for you. Cool. So I don't know. I just wanted to have a little fun with that to talk about that. So I think you should have enough information to run through. And how about we finish finance 6.2 number 2. So it looks like you would have problems 4, 5, and 6 to complete. You have the rest of the period to get it done. If you get it done, you don't have any homework. You don't get it done, and you tell me tomorrow you didn't get it done. Share calculators if you need them.